versus Makola. Kejetia versus Makola. Purely satiric, you laugh and laugh. Kejetia versus Makola. New kind of court where everything goes. A kind of court where everything goes. Or the street meets the law in this funny court. Inti wu nimra, mesumi nimra. Wu nimra, mesumi nimra. You know the rules, but I know the exceptions. You know the exceptions, but I know the rules. Kejetia Makola, we all learned the law. From Ghana to America, Kejetia to Makola, all are welcome to this court. Kejetia versus Makola. Kejetia versus Makola.
Court rise. Her Ladyship, Judge Adefunke Mensah.
You may take your seat.
Thank you.
The plaintiff, Akwesi, is suing Larry, the defendant, for charges of causing public disturbance and financial loss to him. He averred that the defendant's baby made so much noise, and his noise prevented him from watching his movies and also gave him headache. He is seeking damages to the tune of 3,000 Ghana cedis, together with other such reliefs the court may deem appropriate. The court is in session.
All right. I hope you are fine. You're looking good today. You're looking good. You're looking good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Was I addressing you, please?
You say I look good.
Yes,
look good there. If I hear,
you take it for
I'll
yourself.
take my first.
Oh, I see. So what was the inspiration behind your shiny clothes today?
Come again?
What was the inspiration behind your shiny clothes today?
Oh, this one is some case we have been.
Oh, okay.
So,
you are celebrating.
Yeah.
We thank Almighty. Beautiful.
You look beautiful yourself,
Thank
Your
you
Honor.
so much.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
But you know that in my course, beautiful and handsome, it doesn't work.
Yes, Your Honor, I know
Okay,
that.
Wonderful. All right. So what are you presenting us with today?
We are here today, Chamber of Ports, to represent a man here who has a very important case to you. This man here and his wife, on their first wedding anniversary, decided to go to the movies to enjoy a wonderful movie that was premiering. This day was the 12th of May 2018, and they were going to watch the trial of Shatta Wale.
Oh, nice one.
Yes, it was an amazing movie, but unfortunately, my client and his wife don't know what it is. Like, they couldn't appreciate it. They were so traumatized during the movie, and Your Honor, do you know why? As soon as they sat down in the cinema and they were ready to enjoy the movie with their popcorn and their drinks, when Shatamichi walked on that stage and she started, shall we invite Shatta Wale? What was that? It was a baby behind them. The defendant over there, fine gentleman that he is, he came to the cinema with his shut up. He came to the cinema with his baby. And the baby cried and cried and cried and cried throughout the whole movie. My client and his lovely, 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 lovely wife here. Can you see how lovely she is? Say hi to the judge.
She's lovely. Hello.
You see how she, hi, oh my God, she's lovely. They did not enjoy the movie. They had a wonderful night planned out. They would go to the movies and then they would have dinner and then they would go back home and enjoy the rest of the night as a lovely couple in love. But what happened? He ended up getting a headache. His money was wasted at the cinema. He could not understand the movie because he could not hear the dialogue. And what was it? It was like watching a Charlie Chaplin movie in reverse. On rewind. He could not appreciate anything. And Your Honor, there's a saying by an amazing man, Paulo Coelho, and he said, Peter's bolos labradosa session doge. And this means the most wasted day is one without laughter. And they went supposed to get a wonderful dose of laughter on their first anniversary and they ended up with a headache. So, Your Honor, we are suing the defendant for 3,000 Ghana cedis for causing disturbance, for stopping them from enjoying a movie, for psychological trauma, for emotional trauma, for physical inability later in the night. We are, oh my God, suing them for everything and everything else that the court will deem necessary to compensate my sad client and his darling wife, his lovely wife. You saw her wife, you know, like the wife, you know. So thank you very much, Your Honor. That is the end of my argument.
All right. So, defense, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Your Honor. We have something very simple for you. Let me start with this very popular quote, which I'm sure you're familiar with, from a Greek god. And he says, Obetinos Wodinos wa ekum. By a Greek god, Patapakos. Wow. Says, Obeti Wodi wa e.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, you've never heard?
No.
Then you're not familiar with the Greek mythology then. He's a half Greek, half caste god. You know, really? Half Greek, half Ghana. You know, half caste god.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah. Yes.
So what you said, what does it mean? In
English?
Yeah.
What does
it mean in English?
Oh, you will see what will happen later in life.
Okay.
Yes. What we're saying is that, Your Honor, this is very sad to drag a little child and his responsible father to court. Now, Your Honor, this young man here, this handsome young man, responsible young man, took his child to the cinema for one reason only, and for one reason. And the reason is that, Your Honor, the child's mother wasn't around. So as a responsible father, he had to take good care of the child and wanted to take the child out as a father and son bonding moment. So it's rather unfortunate that when they went to the cinema, whilst they were watching the movie, this child was probably a little discomforted. So he decided to cry. And the crying was actually, you know, he's a rich man. So the crying wasn't the normal children, you know, this is a dadaba cry. He cried, nge, nge, nge. That is not, when you hear the cry, Your Honor, you will even want to be a baby and want to cry. Because the crying was amazing, it was beautiful. Sounds good to the ear. Nge.
Objection, Your Honor, he just sang Article 1 song. He's saying nge, 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 nge. That's what he's saying.
Overruled.
So, Your Honor, it is sad that you bring this child to the court. So, whilst they were watching the movie, Your Honor, this child was crying. Yes, and the man apologized, you know, for causing that bit of, you know, discomfort or whatever in the cinema. But these people, that is the plaintiffs, were still saying that he should take the child out of the cinema. Out. Go where? Where? There was nowhere to go because it was raining on that day, according to what my client told me. If it's raining and as a father, you can't leave the child out. And you can't miss the movie too, because that is a great movie. Probably the best movie produced in Ghana.
Oh shit.
Badass. So, he couldn't do that. So he decided to stay there, and they all watched the movie, and they all enjoyed the movie. And unfortunately, he's been dragged here for being a responsible father. What every father will do. Thank you.
All right.
All right, Your Honor, we would like to call to the stand the cinema manager.
Okay.
As our first witness.
First one.
Witness.
Since when did that come out?
It's like one witness and then two witnesses and then three more witnesses. Like. Yeah.
Oh really?
You didn't know that they had upgraded the dictionary?
Hey.
Yes, Your Honor, it's been upgraded. You know, like.
Witness.
Yes, sir. What is your name?
Mr. Korte.
Mr. What?
Korte.
Korte.
Your Honor, I can't.
I caught it or what caught it? Huh?
Can you hold on? Let's him say.
So you are Mr. What?
Mr. Korte.
What is your first name?
Mr.
James Korte.
Mr. James Korte. How long have you been manager at the cinema?
For 5 years now.
What are the rules and regulations that run the cinema?
We don't really have strict rules, but there are certain things which are basic. You cannot make unnecessary noise at the cinema.
Oh, I see. So when you find a situation where noise is being made in the cinema that distracts people from listening to the movie and understanding the movie for what it is, what do you do?
Yeah, when we find out somebody is making noise in the movie or at the cinema, you'll be asked to walk out. Yes.
I see. So you ask the person to walk out. So how come on this day, the defendant here had his baby in the cinema throughout the entire movie, wailing and crying, with patrons complaining, and yet he was still able to sit through it? Like, explain what happened.
Okay, with their situation, I think my attention was not drawn to it.
Oh, your
My
attention
attention
was not drawn to it.
Yes.
And who is supposed to draw your attention to this?
Well, the one who is complaining about the noise can draw my attention to it that maybe
So
a baby...
what you're saying is that there is no person in the cinema that observes the proceedings in the cinema, and so if a person has a complaint in the cinema, they're supposed to walk out of the cinema area and look for the manager and complain and then come back. So the person's supposed to miss a few minutes of the movie. Do you not believe that that is negligence on your part?
No.
In the management of your cinema, knowing that at every point in time there should be someone on the inside of the cinema managing what's happening and ensuring that there's no noise or no disturbance. Do not you think so?
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much.
Objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, that is leading.
What is leading?
You were leading him to say yes.
How was I leading?
You did that.
Did I put the YES in his mouth?
No, you found
Exactly, so that is the end of it. So now sit down. Queen.
Objection, Your Honor.
Well, how many?
She's leading him.
To where?
To sit down.
Yeah, Your Honor, that's the same thing she do to me. She lead me to come here.
As you can see, Your
She
Honor.
can lead people, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Overruled. Thank you, Your Honor.
See, Your Honor,
So thank you for answering.
Your Honor, but
No,
she's
but
not even
I have to
allowing
land.
him to answer the question.
No, because it was a yes or no answer.
You did not tell him that in the first place.
Your Honor,
That's
with your
what-
permission,
that's
I would like
everyone
to
needs be
address
told that a question
something.
is a yes or no.
You should just tell him that
No, my-
answer simply yes or no before you ask that
No,
question.
my darling, that is a sign of Makola. But in this Kejetia school of the law, we know better than to educate people.
But we are
while
not in your chambers, my lord.
Oh,
we are
excuse
in
me.
Your Honor's
Your Honor, can I
different
proceed? What is his
court.
problem? What is his problem?
Shall we carry on?
Yes, Your Honor, we shall.
Lead him.
So, as I was saying, we realized that there was nobody in the cinema at that point.
Objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, he never said that there was nobody in there.
yes.
He's never said that.
Okay, so was there somebody in the cinema at that
Yes,
time?
I am the manager.
Hold
So
on,
the-
was there somebody in the cinema?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So why did this person not report or ensure that the noise making was stopped or removed from the cinema?
Yeah, that is why I don't understand.
Thank you very much. And on that point, Your Honor, knowing that after today's case, you will be filing another case against the cinema for gross negligence and inability to ensure that their patrons enjoy the full value of money for every
No.
experience they pay for. That is
Your
the
Honor.
end of my questioning, and it's
Please.
done.
Thank you. Hold your breath. Now, Mr. Korte, tell us, when you say unnecessary noise, what is the meaning of unnecessary noise in this case?
Oh, there could be a scenario where the movie is funny. People will laugh. You know, laughter can be very short. But somebody can decide to laugh and laugh and laugh for a long time. That one is unnecessary noise. You'll be
That is
disturbing people.
beautiful.
So you can be asked to go out.
And in that case,
Then in this case, a baby crying continuously is also an unnecessary noise.
thank you. So, please, tell this court, was any formal complaint lodged to you?
No.
No. Did the person you assigned to the cinema hall report anything to you?
No.
No. So, if in that case, if something like that happens, what do you do about it?
Yeah, when a complaint is lodged, we have to go and address the complaint. So,
And if a complaint is not lodged,
since a complaint is not given to us, there's nothing we can do.
so you assume that everybody
Everything is moving normal.
beautiful, moving normal.
Yes.
Now, Your Honor, my learned colleague was saying something about babies not crying inside. Your Honor, firstly, I told you about how this baby cried. It is pleasant. It's a pleasant crying.
How do you know how the baby cries?
Oh, Your
Exactly.
Honor, I have seen the baby.
And how do you know how the baby cried then?
Oh, Your Honor, I have seen baby Angio cry. He's amazing. He's beautiful. Baby Angio cries.
And are you with him?
Come on.
There's some man called Dajo. He has some sign called Laman.
What is that?
That's what you call the boy. You call him Laman.
Lamai.
Laman.
Okay.
Yeah, he cry. When he want to drink water, he cry like this. Then he stop. Then I finish. Your Honor. So I think that's how the baby cry for this man.
Your Honor, no further questions.
How far is your, or how close is your office to the cinema hall?
Very close. Just when you open the cinema, at the exit, my office is just at the corner there.
I see. And inside is not soundproof.
Pardon?
The cinema is not soundproof.
It's soundproof.
Interesting. Okay. Shall we have the next witness?
Your Honor, we would like to call Bob to the stand.
Bob?
Like Bob or what Bob? And man Bob.
Man Bob, yes. Yes. Now, Bob was also at the cinema on the same day, watching the same movie with Larry and his lovely wife. Now, Bob, what happened when the baby started crying? What did you do?
Okay, I was just sitting close to Mr. Larry, and then when the baby started crying, I asked him to move out with
Can
the
you
baby.
speak up, please?
Yes, I asked him to move out with the baby because the baby was disturbing me as well as other viewers. So I asked him to move out.
And when you asked him to move out, what happened?
He refused, and he said that he has paid for the ticket, so he has equal rights to enjoy the movie.
Really?
Yes.
And so are you saying that he did not care how you felt or how my client felt,
No,
but
and
his
I mean,
interest was important?
I'm just a student, so I could not take any action against him. So I just looked back and then I saw an empty seat, so I relocated to that place.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
But he still did not move.
No.
Interesting. But how intense were the cries of the baby?
I couldn't hear anything of the movie. It was just the movie, the baby crying that I was hearing.
Oh,
Nothing
really?
else.
So your money was also wasted that night?
Yes, if I had not moved, then I would say that my money was wasted.
So after you moved,
Yes.
how you could hear everything?
Yes. I could
Correct.
hear
You could enjoy the
everything.
movie.
Yes, very much.
So the noise was not disturbing you anymore. The
No,
baby crying.
no.
Okay.
Ah.
Carry on.
Would you like to
Yes.
ask any questions, my colleague?
Babokala. Tell me. You said at the time you moved to go and sit some prayers, you don't hear the baby
No.
cry. It's because the baby stopped crying or you just don't hear the baby cry, because if this is this thing and you are sitting here and the baby is sitting here and the baby is crying, you are here. And you go and sit here, stay, you are going to hear.
Me, I went to the back, so I couldn't hear what the baby crying.
So you there, you are saying that if like my kind, like he can move.
I guess so.
Oh.
Well. Bob.
Yes.
Ah, are you Robert?
Yes.
Ah, how did I know? I'm so good. Okay, so Bob, you said you couldn't take any action.
Yes.
Well, you could have. You could have reported to the manager or the manager of the cinema then. So there you probably had it wrong. And you said you relocated
Yes, please.
to another seat.
Yes, please.
So when you relocated, you couldn't hear the noise any longer. Yes. So that means that the noise wasn't as loud as that.
As you are saying.
It wasn't very loud.
Yes.
How big is this cinema? Tell me.
It's a large auditorium, very large.
How big?
It's
How many
thrice
seats?
bigger than this place.
Say 3 times the size of this courtroom.
Yes, please.
Wow. So 3 times the size of this courtroom, if a baby is crying and there's sound, you probably wouldn't hear the baby. It wouldn't necessarily disturb you.
Me, I was sitting just close to him, so it was disturbing me.
Okay, and you decided to move because there was space elsewhere.
Yes.
Right, Bob, did you know it was raining that day?
Yes, I knew.
You know it was raining?
Yes.
Would you have advised, if it was your brother, would you tell him to take that baby outside in the rain?
I didn't necessarily...
Objection, Your Honor. Taking the baby outside of the viewing room does not mean you're taking the baby outside of the entire cinema building. Let's draw that clarity.
Exactly.
Sustained.
Thank you.
Right. Would you still have taken your little brother out of that room, out of the cozy room, into the cold rain?
So as she was saying, I didn't necessarily tell him to just move the baby outside the cinema, outside the block. There are shades just outside the cinema.
Whilst he has paid for the movie, he should go outside and then just sit there.
He was disturbing, the child was disturbing.
But you moved and you couldn't hear the disturbance any longer.
Yes, so...
So you could have compromised for the little baby, couldn't you? You did.
No, I moved.
So you compromised for the little baby?
Yes.
For your comfort?
Me, I'm just a student, so that's what I can do.
Well, you could have done more. You could have reported. But I decided not to report. Thank you. No further questions.
All right. Prosecution.
Right. Your Honor, I would like to call to the stand Mr. Larry. Ah, Gentleman Larry. I love what you're wearing.
Thank you.
I love it. Beautiful. Mr. Larry, please tell this honorable court, why did you take your baby Angio, that handsome little boy, to the cinema?
Objection, Your Honor. There's no relevance to this case. I mean, come on. We are talking about the baby in the cinema in the first place and the noise. Why do you want to talk about why he took the baby to the cinema? The point is he was there and he made noise and he didn't do anything to make sure that nobody else was disturbed.
But Your Honor, we want to know exactly why he took the baby in there.
And what is the relevance to the case?
It's very important to the case.
Important to
because
the case.
the baby is the subject. The baby caused the crime.
Exactly. So
what are babies doing in cinemas?
So let's stick to the topic in the first place. Why was the noise there? Why didn't he solve the noise?
Okay.
And not why did he bring the baby from the house to the cinema?
Thank you.
Objection sustained.
Thank you.
Okay. Your Honor, why was there noise?
Because the baby was crying. Move on.
Thank you, Your Honor. You know that. Why was the baby in the cinema?
Because the mother traveled.
Objection, Your Honor. The question should be why was the baby crying?
Your Honor, is it your questioning?
No, because we have already established that why the baby was in the cinema is irrelevant.
Okay. Please. Why was the baby crying?
I didn't understand why she was crying.
You don't understand. So perhaps if her mother or the baby's mother, his mother was around, he would have understood.
Sure.
Ah. So where was the baby's mother?
The baby's mother traveled the very morning I went to the cinema, that very morning, and she promised to come back early so that I can attend the cinema. But unfortunately, she couldn't come back, and I had bought a ticket for over a month ago, and I couldn't afford to mix that show, so
Beautiful.
I had to go with her.
So you went with the little NGO. So you went with him, and then he started crying.
Yes.
What could you have done as a father?
I did everything that I could do.
Like what?
I pampered her. I sang for her.
Your Honor, is
She
this
didn't-
child a he or a she?
She's she.
Your Honor, I believe he wanted a baby girl, so he mostly gets confused with the thing. You calls him she because he's so beautiful. You think it's a girl, right?
Sure.
Absolutely. So, tell us, is baby Angio still breastfeeding?
Yes, he is.
Oh, so let's say that if the mother was there, the mother would have given him breast milk,
Yes.
and he would have what?
Stop crying.
But this baby or this young man here has no breast milk, Your Honor, and can't feed the baby with breast milk and let the baby be quiet. But we have still established the fact that this baby doesn't even cry loud. This is a very nice little baby. Your Honor, no further questions for now.
Okay.
Okay, Your Honor.
Before you carry on, I have questions for him. Did the cinema communicate to you whether about the noise, how they manage noise in there?
My Lord, nobody approached.
They did not communicate to you that they do not allow babies inside the...
Not at all.
Nobody spoke to you?
Nobody, my Lord.
Okay. All right. And no official from the cinema also came to speak to you?
Nobody, my lord.
Okay. All right. Prosecution.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Larry,
Yes.
explain to me one thing. You said that the child was crying because the child was what?
I didn't understand what.
You didn't
I
understand
didn't
what
know
was
what was
making the
happening.
child cry,
Yes.
and you say that the child is still breastfeeding.
Yes.
Is it possible that the child was hungry?
I can't tell.
You can't tell, okay. Tell me, Mr. Larry, when a person has an uncomfortable child, is it more responsible to stay in the area that makes a child uncomfortable, knowing that the sound from the cinema is quite loud and can cause discomfort, or it's more responsible to move away from that area and try to calm the child down?
The cinema in the first place wasn't allowed. And second, I didn't take the child out because the atmosphere outside wasn't conducive for me
Now,
and the baby.
let's establish this, Your Honor, that the cinema has a foyer. All right? So you do not open the cinema doors onto the streets. And that is the point that we established in the beginning. So for me, that does not hold, but it's fine. So you say that you decided to stay in because you paid money.
Sure.
Yes, and you must get your money's worth.
My lord, I want to make a point of correction over here. It wasn't because the movie was so much important than my son, but because the conditions outside wasn't favorable to my son. It was raining, there was thunderstorms, and at that time everybody was inside. And looking at the location of the cinema, if everybody is inside and will get out, there is that possibility that somebody might even harm you.
Your Honor, we have established that we did not ask the defendant to step outside the cinema building. Every cinema has a main entrance, has a lobby or a foyer, and then has the area where we sit and enjoy the movie.
Objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, this is a sweeping statement. You can't say that every cinema has a foyer and has... I know a cinema, Your Honor, in Mampong. It has nothing like that.
Not like that. So the cinema in question.
The cinema in question is what I have described, Your Honor. Pardon me for generalizing, because the generalizing is incorrect. Thank you. And now you say that...
I have some question I want to ask you.
Hold on one second. So, in your refusing to move, you implied that they could have moved, right?
They could have moved from where I was sitting.
Oh, but you couldn't have moved to the back with the baby. Why?
Oh, we were all sitting at the back.
Oh, but the gentleman who came before said he moved to the back. So how back? Is there a back and a back?
To the corner. He moved to the corner.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So there's a back and a back corner and a back? Oh.
Like we are all, I'm standing here, here is the back and the corner is there. So he moved there.
Oh, okay. So then what you're saying is that person should have also moved to the corner.
Because I was comfortable with the baby sitting where I was.
Yes, with gross disregard for the comfort of other people when you know that you are causing discomfort. Thank you. I'll hand over to my colleague.
You said that...
Make it quick.
You do, yes, Your Honor, you do some pretty thing, but the baby still cry. What are some of the things you do?
Normally when the baby is crying, you put him on your neck and then you tap the back gradually and the baby will stop crying.
Your Honor, I put it to this mind that he is negligent.
Yes!
For what reason?
Your Honor, he is irresponsible father. Your Honor, let me tell you something. The man that I mentioned the name that he's called Dajo, my friend. Your Honor, when his wife goes some place and he take the sign to go to some place, he carry this thing, baby sleeping bag, some bag. If you put the thing like this, then the baby is put it inside. Then you put it there for the baby talk. Your Honor, not that one alone. He have some this thing, a shape like mother breast. So he put falling needle, nitrogen, water, something, and all the other thing, and he feed the baby, and the baby stop crying. Your Honor, when he go out, even he carry this thing pampers or something like that. If you see that Lama has got to toilet, you have to go to run away. But still, he stand there and change the baby. Now, even if you hear.
Please, you can take your seat. I believe we have one more witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, we'd like to call to the stand Akwesi Hayford. Akwesi Hayford.
All right,
Or Akwesi Hayford.
Two questions from either party.
Okay, Your Honor, we'll make it very quick. Akwesi Hayford, do you have a child?
No, I don't.
Ah, pretty obvious. That is why you probably don't know why the child was crying.
Objection, Your Honor. That is a very insensitive statement to make, pretty obvious. Do you know why they don't have a child? That's very inconsiderate. You don't say these things to single parents or
Well, Your
parents that
Honor,
don't have children.
Sustained.
I take it back. I take it back. So I have 2 questions still. Please, tell us, do you love football?
Yes, I do.
You love football? You love watching
What has
football?
football got to do with this?
Very much.
Your Honor, how I'm coming there. Sometimes when I'm coming,
Thank you very much.
yeah. So, tell us, when you're watching football, do people make noise whilst you're watching football? Are they doing it? Hey, Messi was son. Do they make a lot of noise?
Yes, they do.
But you still watch it regardless.
My lord, every
Because football, you don't listen to something. The players don't stop to talk.
No.
They are playing the ball.
You listen to commentary.
You are not watch. You want the players to talk.
Exactly.
Your Honor,
Even when Messi talk to Ronaldo, you are not hearing him because he did this. Because you don't want to hear.
Exactly. And Your Honor, the players have their names at the back of the shirts. You can see their numbers when the player is running. You don't need to be told that that is Messi or Ronaldo.
Overruled.
Thank you.
Overruled. There's commentary after all.
Sit down.
Overruled. Let's
Some
go to
commentaries,
the- It's what?
Arabic. That time you know.
But you still watch the match.
watch.
Because you can see when they score.
It's Spain. Some commentaries in Spain. Still
Carry
you
on,
watch.
counsel.
Yes. Same.
So, Your Honor, I want to know, you watch football regardless, whether there's noise or not.
Yes, I do.
So why couldn't you watch this one like that?
My lord, every occasion has its own related atmosphere. And for football, you need that kind of atmosphere to enjoy it. But for something like a movie, you need total silence because it is an audiovisual. In as much as you are watching the action, you need to listen as well. So football, basically, you don't need to listen to any sound. You only need to watch the action. But for a movie, you cannot watch only the action without the sound.
Okay, so when you were sitting there and the other young man, that is Bob, moved to the corner, why didn't you move yourself?
My lord, my wife and I bought a VVIP ticket. And in most cases, in such cinemas, when you buy a VVIP ticket, it has its own corresponding seat. So our ticket mandated us to sit on a particular seat. So we sat exactly where we were mandated to sit.
Now, Your Honor, the other witness made it clear that there were other empty seats there where they could have occupied anyway and still enjoyed the movie. Well, Your Honor, it was obvious that this man sat there, nothing happened. So he could have done same. For the benefit of this little baby, could have moved, but he decided not to. Shows that he was very insensitive to the little child.
Okay.
No further questions for now.
All right. Do you have any questions?
Yes.
2 questions.
2 questions. Tell me, the time that the baby is clapped had to you, did you tell this man?
Yes, my lord, I prompted him. And he said he has equally paid for the movie. And he has equal opportunity to watch the movie in as much as you also had the same opportunity of enjoying the movie. So he was not going to move to any place.
So he tell you that he don't care, that you are not comfort.
Objection, Your Honor. He never said anything of the sort.
If I read it.
What?
If I read it.
Carry on, carry on.
Do you mean insinuate?
Sure.
Inferred.
You know.
Inferred.
That is
Yes.
English.
Okay, carry on.
So, this man lets you know that you don't have sense. What? If you like, he has paid the thing. Why you are telling?
That's exactly what he told me.
Oh.
Objection, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
He told you that you don't have sense?
He told me that he has equal opportunity of watching the movie.
Which is true.
All right.
Your Honor,
Last question.
it's like this one, it's not even a question. It's like you have got to pay some money that you want to stay in some room in some house. And somebody else come to stay in the house and the person is do things by heart. And when you talk, you say that me too, I pay my money, so I can let my daughter come and go to toilet in your house, in your door front. I can come and cook in your door. I can come and pour anything there. You know, the fact that you two have paid does not mean that come and disturb me. You can't do that because you two have paid. It's like you tell my kind that if you don't like what you see, then move and go and sit and praise us. No, we don't do that.
Objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, what we are saying is that our client here did not necessarily say that they should move because he is paid. That wasn't the primary reason. The reason he did not move the child out was because the weather wasn't favorable for the little child. You don't want a little child catching a cold when it's raining.
We've
You don't
already
want that.
established that he was
And that
not
was the
asked-
reason.
Oh, Your Honor, we've already established that
Your
we're not asking
Honor.
the child to go outside the building.
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor, even when you go to church and the baby mama is there, that time if the baby is crying, the mother don't sit there. He take the baby to go to the back to go some praise because common sense tell you that when something is disturbs somebody, you make this to some praise.
Objection, Your Honor. Your
You
Honor.
are the man who is your baby disturbed. Take your baby and move.
Exactly.
Your Honor, this is a very responsible and should I say inexperienced father who loves his son, who wants to do the best for his son. That's why he picked his son from home, carried this child out to create a father and son bonding moment. Like
How does a baby who is breastfeed not a movie? What
And
are
how
you
do you
talking
take a
about?
breastfeeding baby to the movie without the mother?
If you
Why
want
would
to
you stay
play
home?
like that Joe do, take the baby to some more and let the baby sit in this thing, train, and take photo and video. That's what that Joe do. That's irresponsible.
Why didn't he stay home with his child like a responsible father in a comfortable place without the mother?
That's why he's a
Why not?
neglect father.
Your Honor.
Okay.
Are they done? Please sit down. Let me talk.
Sure.
You have one last thing to say, and then.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, finally, what we would like to say is that we should see this young man as a very, very good father. And this father was trying to protect his son, was trying to have a good time with his son because his mother wasn't around. That is what every good father must do, and that's what we should be encouraging. Because a lot of fathers are bailing out on their children, leaving their children to only their mothers. But this young man decided to take his baby and take care of this baby whilst the mother was away. How many fathers are going to do this? And now he's in
Your Honor, this is irrelevant.
very
Your Honor.
irrelevant, Your
All
Honor.
right, order in my
Your Honor, objection.
Your Honor, I'm sure we are all hoping that we have
Your
husbands
Honor,
like
to
this.
what this my
What
colleague
is
is
your
tell you.
objection?
Nobody said that the man should not take care of the man children. But the fact that you are taking care of your children, it's not mean that the way you are taking care of your children, you are taking care of the children to disturb what somebody to do to take care of their own children. You don't do that.
I've listened to both sides, and it has been an interesting one. Something that could have been cut short. But as usual, I like story, so I like to listen. Anyway, I like the fact that our first witness moved to the back when he was disturbed by the baby, and you realized that.
Your Honor, talk about move, come on, kind move to come and sit down.
Oh, sure. Come and sit down. Come and sit down. I like the sound of your shoe.
Yeah,
Remind me
it's
of
like
my
go.
home. It's like
Sit
go.
like
I see. I give you small chance and then see what you are doing.
Oh, yeah.
You like that?
Yeah,
It's good.
that's my lifestyle.
It's wonderful. Continue. Anyway, I like the fact that the witness moved, but the fact that the defendant did not actually go out. He could have moved out of the theater, out of the cinema, but he chose not to. You have been seeing your wife when the baby is crying and you are public place. People, you go outside and you do it, so you don't need somebody to now come and tell you. Two people have complaints on you, so you understand. As you two, you will be considerate. As I have mentioned before, it was not really where you were. So you could have gone outside, anywhere, anyhow. You knew that cinema is a very, very loud, noisy place. Yes. There will be a lot of, sound from the television, the screens and all of that. You could have, chose to take your baby somewhere else and sacrifice the tickets for another day. You understand? In light of that, I would like to congratulate this team because you have done a good job with the arguments. I would like to advise that you sue the cinema because that is a more interesting and a sweeter case because there's a whole lot that you can get out of it, and as a result, you'll be able to get something small for yourself. Can we rise for the final verdict? In light of this, I would like to charge the defendant a sum of 1,000 Ghana cedis in favor of the plaintiff to take care of the little bits that they had to pay to be able to come to this court, which means that we're done judges for a good job. We are hoping that you will ensure
Your Honor,
that you will pay. What is the problem?
You called these ones judges, and you're calling us lawyers.
I call them judges.
Yes, I mean, they can't even get them.
Yes. Judges.
Is that so?
Yes. Don't mind them.
Oh, wonderful. I was singing a song in my head.
Yes. That's why you see us like that.
Oh, wonderful. It was a mistake. Pardon me.
We have taken.
Oh, don't worry, you're pardon.
But you understand the thing I'm saying also.
Yes, Your Honor.
Wonderful, wonderful. In light of that, ensure that you pay the 1,000 Ghana cedis as damages. This court is adjourned.
And we have win.
Yes!
Court right.
Yes! Wonderful.
Her Ladyship, Judge Adekunke,
and I dream ukuto Africa sepe juma poa it is whom you know Arehukuti Nashe makumado Ehu Afrikenya buano Ehu Afrikenya buano Ehu Afrikenya buano Ehu Afrikenya buano na ya kolo. Let us all unite and celebrate together. The victory is won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, 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 sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky. Let us make Africa the tree of life.